What's going on, FRF Nation? Aaron Zamzow here with a podcast from Fire Rescue Fitness, the FRF Podcast. Sorry, it's taken me a little time to podcast again, and there is some reasoning behind that. I got some really cool opportunities to do some other interviews and such, and we will inform you of those fairly shortly in the next couple weeks. But today what I wanted to talk about is the other side of fitness. I think within the fire service and, going around and being able to talk to a lot of people in the fire service, chiefs, firefighters, from all walks of the spectrum, from volunteer to career, and being the fitness guy, a lot of times that transcends into personal conversations about what people are trying and what they've done and what's been successful for them. And, if you've listened to some of my other FRF podcasts, you know that I struggle sometimes, just like everybody else, with motivation, struggle with ice cream. I struggle with tequila. There are times where I don't feel like I'm working as hard or I'm making progress, and just like you. So, I think the vulnerability of that and the fact that I'm almost 50 years old, and I know that I need to stay fit and healthy. It's brought forth a lot of challenges with me personally, and I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about, what are some other reasons to exercise? What is, we all look at, it's nice to have 6-pack abs, or be a little bit skinny, or, and those are the aesthetic reasons. But when it comes down to it, the aesthetic reasons only stick for a little bit of time, meaning this: life happens. You got kids, you got shifts, you got stress of the job, you got a lack of sleep. You have all these different things that start to kind of compound and add up and add up and add up. And all of a sudden, just like, hey, I just want to be able to bend down and touch my toes without my back hurting, right? That becomes your goal in some term, at some point. And I think what's lost in the fitness and health and wellness conversation, especially when it comes to first responders, is that, look, the calendar, bench press, how much you bench press, how much you lift, is only one aspect of fitness. There is a whole nother side. I'll even go into the wellness side of it, but fitness is just more than being able to bench press. Fitness is just being more that is more than just being able to run 1.5 miles or lift a certain amount of weight or look a certain way. When it comes to first responders and the fire service especially, we have to understand and we have to teach our new members, our current members, that fitness can lead to so many other benefits. And not just, again, what we're seeing aesthetically, but cancer. It can reduce our instances and chances of cancer. It can really help improve mental health. It can, now there's research that shows that PTSD can not necessarily be reversed, but that exercise helps with PTSD and recovery from trauma. Exercise and fitness consistently prevents disease. It improves performance, cognitive function. We mentioned mental health, but mood, just all of these things encompass, being a better first responder, right? If I'm in a better mood, I am a better leader. I am a better, significant other. I'm a better father. I'm a better crew member. I can think a little more clearly. When I'm thinking clearly, I'm a better chief, especially if I'm in a situation where I need to make decisions that affect other people's lives. When we talk about mental health, fitness and 30 minutes of movement can really help and go a long ways to, again, improve that mood, to help us deal with the stress of life and the job. It can help with combating disease. It can help with immune function. So the whole point of this particular podcast and this post, I guess, is to get your mind in the right frame of reference to think a little bbit differently about fitness, especially if you've been struggling to stay consistent. And what I think happens is we are very, fire service, we're stubborn at times. We're very, very stuck in our ways at other times. And I think, a lot of us are former athletes, so we try to compare ourselves to being a former athlete, and we want to try to get back to that certain level of fitness or what we used to look like. And not to say that that's a bad goal, but what happens when you set your sights for that and it doesn't happen overnight because you may have, A, you're training differently now, and B, you're older, we get discouraged. And what I want you to start thinking about is think about your fitness as a necessity for life success, not just, physical success, but all the other aspects of your life are made better by having a better relationship with your body. If you're looking for a great little documentary, there's a great documentary on Netflix right now. I think it's called Stutz. It's by Jonah Hill. He actually goes through some counseling with his psychiatrist or psychologist, and it's very intriguing. It very enlightening. And one of the things that they mention within that particular documentary is that your life success really depends on relationships with three things. And I just mentioned that: body, people, and yourself. And I think we lose track of that, especially as first responders, because our lives are all about other people a lot of times. It's about helping others. It's about responding to other people's emergencies. It's about, doing things for a chief or doing things for a significant other or for our kids. And that we lose relationships with our own self. We lose that relationship with our own body because we put everyone else's stuff first. And my hope out of this particular post is that you take a step back and really look in the mirror and say, okay, evaluate, where am I? Not only what do I look like, right? You could be 30 or 40 pounds overweight. I'm okay with that. If you are taking care of yourself from the standpoint, if you're consistently working out, if you're working on improving your nutrition, that weight will slowly come off. But if you are not doing that and you're going the opposite direction, you're not working out, you're having energy drinks, you're not eating enough vegetables, you're not sleeping very well, you're starting to take meds for a lot of different things, I'm urging you to just start moving, to take a step, to say 3 times a week, 30 minutes, I'm going to just do some type of movement, whether it's stretching, whether it's just walking on the treadmill, whether it's taking the dog for a walk, some type of movement. And as that progresses, as you get 12 workouts in, or 4 consecutive weeks, now up the intensity. So the way that fitness needs to work, it's just like building any other skill, right? If you want to take up piano, you're not going to play Beethoven right away. But yet a lot of us want to jump in, lose 10 pounds right away, work out for an hour and a half every single day, and think that that's not going to have adverse effects on us. You need to have a plan when you come into it. You need to take it in a step approach, just like you would be teaching someone how to pull fire hose or teaching someone how to operate the pump. You have to build skills. You have to slowly progress people. And then you can throw intensity in there. But if you are not working out consistently, the worst thing you need to go do is go to a CrossFit high intensity workout right away without building the stability of the habit. So my emphasis with this is think about fitness a little bit differently, especially if you're struggling. If you want to compare yourself to your old self or your alter ego of being an athlete, don't. You are now a new athlete. You are a first responder. You are a firefighter. You are a father. Now, I look at things from an athletic approach from the standpoint of I know as an athlete, I need to be able to perform. As a firefighter, as a fire lieutenant, I know I need to be able to perform. Now, physically, as a lieutenant, I may not have to rely on my physical nature as much as I will my cognitive function. And you know what helps with that is fitness. As a fire lieutenant, I'm going to have to deal with the interpersonal relationships a little bit more. You know what helps with that? Consistent fitness. As a firefighter, I need to break stuff up. I need to climb ladders. I need to haul heavy stuff. You know what helps with that? Fitness. So my point here is, you have to just establish a base. First, you got to do, then you got to do well or work on that skill, and then you got to do with intensity. And I think a lot of times what happens is we skip that second step. And sometimes we even skip the first step. We just start going right back into intensity. And that leaves us back frustrated with where we were before. So first things first, if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, Zam, it's great. It's easy for you. BS, it's not. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm in a cold climate. It is not easy for me. It is not easy for anyone. You need to just make that habit. If you're having trouble finding time in your day, do it first things first. Get up a little bit earlier. You get up 30 minutes earlier, start walking on the treadmill. I don't care if you walk in place, walk around your house. Get to the firehouse, just walk on the treadmill. Movement will be a catalyst for more movement, but you have to make it a habit. If you have been struggling to get in the gym, just set a goal to work out 9 times in the next 3 weeks. I don't care what you do. We'll work on that step in the next step. Step 1, build the habit. And if you're having trouble with that habit, don't think of it as far as aesthetics. Think about it as general health, wellness, the success, life success. Do you want to be a better father? Do you want to be a better leader? Do you want to be a better fire lieutenant? Do you want to be a better teammate? Do you want to be a better spouse? Build the relationship with your body. Then build the relationship, and that helps build a relationship with other people. And then that helps build a relationship with yourself. It's okay to struggle. Trust me, I do it all the time. And maybe that's what prompted me to do this, is that, yeah, I had been struggling. I had not been really working out consistently. Or I'd go in and I kind of half-ass it. But what happened was I just said, look, don't beat yourself up. I'm getting at least 3 workouts a week. And that now is back up to 5 and even 6. Now, they're not intense workouts every single time. I'm starting to build my skill back, my level where my intensity can be a little bit higher. But I also need to take a rest every once in a while. So last night at the firehouse, I was set to do a full body workout. We had calls all day. I ate dinner, and then I promised myself, look, I just got on the step mill. I was just going to do 10 minutes, turned into 30 minutes. Stretch for another 10. I had a great workout. It's interrupted by one call, but the mindset is now changed. My mindset has changed. And that's going to lead into nutrition. That's going to be a whole nother podcast. But for those that are struggling to stay consistent, don't beat yourself up. 3 times a week. Make that then 4 after, say, 3 or 4 weeks. Now, if you've been staying fairly consistent, the next step is that you need to build your skills. So start to add a little bit of weight. This is where you need to follow a particular program. Right now, FRF, you can reach out to me. I have some great opportunities for programs. I'll even get you started on a free one. You can go to firerescuefitness.com. Just go to the contact me page. That's what I'm here for. But you need to look at your fitness and your health and your wellness from other angles, not just the calendar, not just your waist. Look at it for how you feel. Look at it for how you interact. Look at it with all the other health issues that we face as first responders. And when you can start to change that frame of reference, you understand how big of a necessity it is. You'll start to feel, A, like you're in more control, and B, what'll happen is that'll transfer into, all of a sudden, you're working out a little bit. And what I like to do is I like to read. I like to read about fire. I like to read about being better at my position, being a better crew member when I'm doing some cardio. And then that transfers into asking better questions, getting better, crew drills, going out and doing stuff to make myself better. But it starts with stepping forward, consistent workouts. And I know you can do it because you're not alone, number one. And I know it's not easy, but it's damn well worth it, especially if you are in a position where people in your community, your family, they all count on you. And again, I'm here to help you. So in this 15-minute rant, thank you, by the way, for listening. Please let me know if you have questions, comments, concerns, if you think I'm on something or onto something. I just appreciate you listening. But just remember that there's more sides to fitness than just the calendar, than just weight loss, than just a trimmer waist or bigger biceps or a better bench press. You can combat cancer. You can improve mental health, your mood, combat PTSD, prevent disease, improve performance. And you just have to do it one step at a time. I don't care your intensity, whatever you want to do, just get consistent 3 times a week, 30 minutes. And we'll do another podcast about nutrition. I'll do some more as I see fit. And that's where your questions come in. They help guide me into the next one. But again, thanks for listening. Get moving. One step at a time. Work to be better every single day. And by the way, subscribe to FRF. Go to firerescuefitness.com. Let me know how I can help you and your crew get more fit for duty. Thanks, everybody.